Now, I don't know about you, but I don't like to gamble on my impact. I don't like to gamble on my life. And I sure as hell don't like to gamble on my income and my career, right? So if you're putting in only 80% of the work, a lot of people think this is good enough. Oh, I'll do good enough at focusing. I'll do good enough at having faith. I'll do good enough at putting in the effort. Good is the enemy. It's the mortal enemy of great. Oh, hello. Good morning, friends. Zander Fryer here. Again, if you don't know who I am, I don't know how you ended up here, but Zander Fryer, CEO and founder of High Impact Coaching, here with a quick little Monday morning motivation for you. And today I'm digging into the equation. It's the simple equation, the simple three-part equation that allowed us to scale our business to seven figures, multiple seven figures, and where we're taking it to eight figures and beyond, right? So I'm going to get into it in just a second. It's F times E equals S. And I'm going to get into that equation in just a second. But before I dig into that equation, I want to share with you the story of two coaches. We're going to share with you the story of two coaches, all right? Coach number one, this is Coach Lisa. All right, Coach Lisa was one of the most motivated coaches that you ever met. She was just starting her career as a coach, but she was incredibly focused. She would narrow in on her exact outcome she wanted, the life she wanted, and she didn't make any excuses. She didn't let anything get in the way. She was incredibly focused on exactly what she wanted in life, in her career, in her business, in her impact, in her income, in her freedom. She had focus to a T, right? And Coach Lisa was also amazing. She had been working on her mindset for months, maybe even years, and building belief around the possibility that she could make it. And it would take a lot of work, but she built belief around the fact that she could get there, right? And then Coach Lisa wasn't afraid to work her ass off. Coach Lisa would put 100% of the work necessary in to get to where she wanted to go. And now we're not talking about unnecessary grind. We're not talking about unnecessary busy work. We're talking about focusing on the things that matter, believing that they're possible, and putting in the intentional work to continuously get better and grow. Now, this is Coach Lisa. I want to ask you, what do you think are the possibilities? What do you think are the chances that Coach Lisa is successful in her career? Right? What do you think are the chances that Coach Lisa is successful in her career? I want you to think about that for a second. And now I want to introduce you to Coach Tom. All right, Coach Tom, right? One of the most experienced coaches that you've met out there, incredibly versed in his field, an absolute expert, has spent years becoming an expert in his space. And Coach Tom was really excited. He dreamed of everything. Everything that he wanted to get to, everywhere he wanted to get to. He was clear on the vision, but he was always very distracted, and he would always make excuses about why he wasn't focusing on the things that he needed to focus on, and he would focus on things that kept him busy rather than being productive. And because of that, Coach Tom saw a lot of ups and downs, and he had a lot of doubts in himself. He had a lot of doubts in the business, and he had a lot of doubts of whether or not it was possible for him to get to where he wanted to go to, right? And because of that, Coach Tom, rather than focusing 100% of his effort on growing and becoming a better coach and a better business owner, he would distract himself, and he would kind of half-ass the work, and he would focus on the busy work rather than the uncomfortable things that he really needed to focus on to produce results. Now, what do you think is the likelihood that Coach Tom is going to be successful as a coach? What do you think is the likelihood that Coach Tom is going to be successful as a coach? I want you to think about it for a second. You've got Coach Lisa on one hand, and you've got Coach Tom on the other hand. Which one of them is going to be successful and which one isn't? Right? And this brings me to the equation, FFE, F times E. This is the simple equation that we've used at High Impact Coaching every week for our team. We use it with all of our mastermind clients to help them realize where they are, what's not working, and what they need to focus on growing to get better in their coaching business. And the equation is focus times faith times effort equals success, right? So you can actually calculate your percentage chance of success based on your focus, your faith, and your effort. This is something one of my mentors and friends that I met at a mastermind, Cameron Harold, taught us a little over a year ago. But I want you to take a quick second. And I want you to calculate your FFE score. All right. And the way that you do this, you calculate your percentage on a scale of 0 to 100 that you were focused this last week or this last month. Let's do this last month. All right. What was your percent that you were focused on achieving your goals this last month? 0 to 100%. What percent were you focused? Were you 100%? Were you 80%? Were you 50% focused? Were you 20% focused? How focused were you? Right. And then I want you to focus on your faith, right? Your faith, your belief that you can get there, your faith that you can make it happen, right? On a scale of 1 to 100, what was that faith that you had, the belief that you had that you could achieve these dreams, achieve these goals, all right? And then lastly, what was your effort, the work that you actually put in over this last week, this last month to achieve these goals, to achieve these major goals? On a scale of 1 to 100, what was the effort that you actually put in? 0 being you didn't do anything, 50 being you kind of half-assed the effort, or 100% you really fucking went for it, right? Now, once you have these 3 numbers, your focus, your faith, and your effort percentages, you can actually calculate the percentage chance of you being successful in your business by multiplying them together. Now, for everybody who forgot stats class and doesn't know how to multiply percentages, it's pretty straightforward. For example, right? For example, if you were 50% focused, 50% faithful, and 50%, you put forth 50% the effort, it's 0.5. So 50% is 0.5. It's the percentage of the number 1, right? So 0.5 times 0.5 times 0.5. So if you half-ass your focus, you half-ass your effort, and you half-ass your faith, you end up with 12.5% chance of being successful. I want everybody to think about that because that was Coach Tom. Coach Tom was half-assing his focus, he was half-assing his faith, and he was half-assing his effort. And for some weird reason, as coaches, we all think that half-assing it's good enough. It's not. It's not good enough. And this is the reason that according to Glassdoor, 90% of coaches will not make it, is because we're half-assing everything, right? 12% chance of success. I want you to take a second. I want you to calculate your FFE right now, all right? So to give you another example, let's say you're 80% focused, 80% faithful, and 80% putting in the effort. That comes out to 0.8 times 0.8 times 0.8, comes out to about 50% chance of success. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't like to gamble on my impact. I don't like to gamble on my life, and I sure as hell don't like to gamble on my income and my career. Right? So if you're putting in only 80% of the work, a lot of people think this is good enough. Oh, I'll do good enough at focusing. I'll do good enough at having faith. I'll do good enough at putting in the effort. Good is the enemy. It's the mortal enemy of great. Good is the mortal enemy of great. If you put in 80%, you have a 50% chance of failing. I want everybody to think about that. In order for you to be certain that you will get there, you have to be, even if you put 95% in on each one of these, 95, so 0.95 times 0.95 times 0.95 puts you at an 85% chance of success. If you're regularly around a 0.95 or a 95%, you still have like a 1 in 6 chance of not making it. I want everybody to think about that, because if your focus, your faith, and your effort are not where they need to be, and you're wondering why you're not succeeding, the answer is simple. You're not taking accountability. You're not taking accountability and not taking ownership for your focus, for your faith, and your effort that you're putting in. FFE. It's the simple math equation that we have used to guarantee our success. Everybody on my team, every single person on my team has to be averaging above an 85%, which puts our team average above 90%. That's how we know that we're going to succeed. That's how we know that we're going to succeed, because we know that every single person on our team is had the focus that they need to have, has the faith that they need to have, and has the effort going in that they need to have to be successful long term. And if you're not doing the same for your business and you wonder why you're not getting there, it's pretty obvious to me. You're not putting in the work that you need to. Now, the truth is, this can be a little bit scary, because right now, if you do your numbers, I want you to calculate your numbers. Go ahead, seriously, take the time, calculate your numbers. What percentage focus, what percentage faith, what percentage effort are you putting in? I want you to calculate the numbers, right? Now, this can be scary, because the first time you do this, I bet it's going to be incredibly revealing. I bet it's going to be incredibly revealing around, how much you might be half-assing stuff and the percentage chance that you have of succeeding. Now, it's okay, right? Some of you might be at 80%. Awesome. Some of you might be closer to 50%. You got some work to do. Some of you might be lower than 50%. You might be down by 30. You might be down by 20. You might even be down by 10%. Now, here's the deal. It's okay. It's okay if you're low right now. It's okay if you're at 20 or 10% or wherever it is, right? Because now you're aware. Now you're aware of what you're doing wrong. You're not focusing on the things that you need to focus on. You're not having the faith that you need to have. You're not building the mental muscle, the mindset that you need to build to be successful, and you're not putting in the effort to actually get there. That's okay, because now that you're aware, you can change those things. Once you're aware, you can change those things, and you no longer have excuses. You can no longer pretend that you did everything that you could and it just didn't work out. Right? Because now you're too aware to use that as an excuse. You have to get that focus up. You have to get that faith up, and you have to get that effort up, because your mission is too big. Your mission is too big, and there are people out there that need you right now. And if you don't get your focus up, and you don't get your faith up, and you don't get your effort up, those people are crying themselves to sleep and they're not getting your help. And whose fault is that? So it's time to change that. It's time to change that, and it's time to get this moving. All right? Because remember, you didn't sign up for easy. You signed up for impact.